Okay, back to DOSAP, or whatever it's called. I still remember the game I got my first ever Pokemon game. It was around 8 to 10 years old. My mom and dad had just came back from a shopping trip, and I was in my room busying myself with my only Pokemon-related game at the time, Pokemon Stadium. I mashed the buttons on the control wildly as the oncoming attack from my opponent Dragonair sent Jolteon's health quickly down to 0. I was just about to send out my next Pokemon in my team's lineup when my mom called me downstairs. The console's remote fell onto the floor with a loud clunk, something I would regret later in life, as now I only have one working remote. As I raced down my bedroom door, I knew what was coming, something I've been waiting for a long time. My mom was in our sitting room. The end. She had a plain plastic bag in her hands and had a welcoming smile on her face. "I got you something while I was in town. Come see," she chimed as she... No, that's more like, "I got you something while I was in town. Come see," she chimed as she handed me the bag. By this point, my heart was pounding. Could it really be what I thought it was? I dipped my right hand into the bag and felt something smooth, the smooth angular shape of generic card packaging. I almost couldn't contain myself as hope brewed more and more inside me. Without hesitation, I yanked out the box. Could this really be my own copy of Pokemon Red and Blue? I held up the box. I could clearly see it, but no, that wasn't Pokemon Red or Blue. It was Pokemon Orange. It was Pokemon Yellow, the newest Pokemon game out at the time. My heart nearly did a backflip with joy. Then I remembered something rather important. I didn't have my Game Boy, but maybe, yes, I looked into the bag. I could have died happy right then, because it wasn't just any Game Boy, but a limited edition Pikachu version. Gave my mom the biggest thank you and hug I could, and then rushed upstairs to play the game. This was my very first experience with the Pokemon Game Boy game. I played Yellow right through to the end and all over again. Wait. Okay. I'm done with that now. However, that's not the story I want to share today. The story I want to share today and then right below it is another want to share today. Began on a copy of Pokemon Red, a game I later got off a friend who'd lost interest in the franchise. Now, I played through this game normally enough. It was just like any Pokemon game I'd played before or would play in the future for years to come. Like most youngsters who play Pokemon, at least I hope so, I grew attached to those little pixels who were part of my team. I know how you feel. My first playthrough of Pokemon Black. Man, any music from that game is so nostalgic to me. I really miss it. I wish I could experience it for the first time again. I wish I could experience Pokemon for the first time again. I'm kind of glad Black was my first experience, because that's like the only game I've ever even beaten. But don't judge me. I came close to being Soul Silver, and I'm almost done with Black too. I have to start all over on Heart Gold because my game got washed. Anyways, now I play through this game normally, blah blah blah. You're attached to the little pixels who are part of my team. I usually love all my Pokemon on my team, but I always had a favorite. In fact, throughout the course of several games, this favorite of mine was the exact same Pokemon, and this is where the story really begins. I caught him on the Pokemon Red version. At this time, I was really happy to have a legendary at all. After my attempts to catch Articuno has failed many times, yes, I am aware, legendaries are genders, but I had to give them genders in my head anyways, was a Zapdos, and the first electric Pokemon I had caught that I actually really liked the design of. So he instantly went into my team. Like all the Pokemon I kept in my party, I made sure to nickname it. So once I passed his little Pokeball coming to a standstill at the victory music chimed, I arrived at the nicknaming screen. Pondered only for a second before I pressed the letter which spelled out DOSAP. To this day, I cannot recall why I picked such a strange but juvenile name, but it stuck nonetheless. From here on out, DOSAP was first leading my Pokemon. I used him first in my battles. His drill peck seemed to deal enough damage to fate almost all foes. And just as he reached level 70 on my red version, had made it to a point in my newest Pokemon game, gold version, where trading Pokemon with older games became possible. So of course, my first choice was to transfer my legendary trio. I set up a link cable between my Pikachu edition Game Boy and my brother's purple transparent one, which I borrowed for the occasion. I was so glad to be this far. This way I didn't have to leave my old Pokemon behind. I watched as the trade screen started, and the little star of my Articuno disappeared into its Pokeball, followed by the text box finalized. Take good care of Midnight, my Articuno's name, and I watched as the animation commenced. Where my Articuno had been displayed moments before on the red version, now appeared a Rattata, while my gold version now gleamed the handsome new sprite of Articuno. Really, sprites are handsome? I marveled at the sprite for a while before continuing to process the trading in my gold version Rattata army with my prized Pokemon. Moltres was next, and then my Pidgeot, then my Charizard, then my faithful starter Pokemon, and then finally DOSAP, which around the syllables Zapdos was transferred. Once returning from the trade station in my guild game, I added my new favorite Umbreon to my team. Then after browsing through my new party and feeling satisfied, I headed off to the Elite Four for my next challenge. DOSAP led my team into battle. Each of the four impressively downed their Pokemon, one after the other, only needing to be switched out to give my brother a Pokemon a chance to level and avoid Bruno's Onix. It took a lot of max elixirs and hyper potions, but I made it through to challenge him. His Gyarados fell easily, and Dragonair and Dragonite weren't too difficult. Aerodactyl managed to lower DOSAP's health greatly, so I switched him out with Moonlight, my Umbreon, in a desperate attempt to protect the other Pokemon from fainting. You know what? I don't get... did he just nickname his Umbreon that just because he couldn't nickname it? Oh, wait, name changer. But wait, he makes it sound like he didn't evolve an Eevee. In a desperate attempt to protect my Pokemon from fainting, after several Shadow Balls and faint attacks, Aerodactyl was down, but the rest of my team had been lost during the previous non-stop battles, and Moonlight was running low on HP too. I knew my only chance as Lance's Charizard began appearing on the screen. I switched Pokemon. The insisting bleep began. With a rather faint battle cry. I held my breath and selected my first command, but Charizard was quick. Enemy Charizard used Fire Blast. I froze momentarily, but it missed. A sigh of relief left me. DOSAP used Zap Cannon. Charizard's health bar fell to just above half. Enemy Charizard is now paralyzed. Yes, I mashed the attack button patiently. DOSAP used Drill Peck. The move made contact and Charizard's health began to slowly drain. What took seconds seemed to take minutes. But finally, the text box I wanted to read appeared. Enemy Charizard fainted.